In the rugged wilderness of Shadow Ridge, the Resistance had built a hidden stronghold. Carved into the side of a mountain, the base was shielded by natural rock formations and advanced cloaking technology. It was their last refuge, a place to regroup, strategize, and prepare for the battles ahead. Commander Reynolds stood at the observation deck, gazing out at the mist-covered valley below. "The data from the Sahara gave us hope," he said, addressing his team, "but hope alone won't win this war. The Arcturians know we're a threat now, and they'll stop at nothing to destroy us." Dr. Markov, surrounded by holographic projections of alien schematics, nodded. "They'll come for the obelisk's knowledge, and when they do, we need to be ready." The Resistance began fortifying the base, laying traps, reinforcing defenses, and training their fighters for the inevitable onslaught. Shadow Ridge was more than a sanctuary. It was their last stand. The attack came without warning. Arcturian scout drones, silent and nearly invisible, slipped past the base's defenses, mapping its vulnerabilities. Hours later, the main assault began. The mountain shook as alien artillery bombarded its surface. Resistance fighters scrambled to their positions, firing back with everything they had. Plasma cannons and railguns lit up the night, their beams cutting through the darkness like blades of light. Captain Rhea coordinated the defense from the control room. "Hold your fire until they're within range," she ordered. "We can't waste ammo." Outside, Sergeant Malik led a squad through the narrow mountain paths, using the terrain to ambush the enemy. The Arcturians advanced with terrifying precision, their biomechanical soldiers shrugging off small arms fire. But Malik's team was relentless, using guerrilla tactics to slow their progress. Despite their efforts, the Arcturians began to breach the outer defenses. The base's walls, once thought impregnable, now trembled under the relentless assault. Inside the base, a new threat emerged. An Arcturian infiltrator, disguised in stolen resistance armor, had slipped past the perimeter during the chaos. Its mission? To sabotage the base from within. Private Lila, still recovering from her injuries at Fort Haven, noticed the infiltrator acting suspiciously near the power core. Following her instincts, she confronted the figure, her weapon raised.
"Who are you?" she demanded.
The infiltrator turned, its disguise flickering as it reverted to its true form. It lunged at her, its claws gleaming in the dim light. Lila fired, but the creature was too fast, knocking her weapon aside. The struggle drew the attention of nearby fighters, who rushed to her aid. Together, they managed to subdue the infiltrator, but not before it had planted a device on the power core. Dr. Markov arrived just in time to defuse the device. "If this had gone off, we'd have lost the entire base," she said grimly. The incident heightened tensions within the base. Trust was now a fragile thing. Back in the command center, Commander Reynolds and his team reviewed their dwindling options. The Arcturians were closing in, and the Resistance's resources were nearly exhausted. Dr. Markov proposed a desperate plan. "The obelisk's data suggests we can create a temporary EMP pulse strong enough to disable the Arcturian forces in the area. But it will take time to prepare." Reynolds nodded. "Then we buy you time. Every second counts." Captain Rhea rallied the fighters. "This is it, people," she said. "We hold the line no matter what. The future of humanity depends on us." The fighters took their positions, knowing this battle could be their last. Outside, the Arcturian forces regrouped for a final push. Their massive war machines loomed on the horizon, their weapons glowing ominously. The Arcturian assault was relentless. Waves of alien soldiers stormed the base, supported by towering mechs and aerial drones. Resistance fighters fought with unmatched bravery, their determination unshaken despite the overwhelming odds. Sergeant Malik led his squad in a daring counterattack, using stolen Arcturian technology to disable one of the enemy mechs. Private Lila, inspired by her earlier victory, coordinated sniper fire that took out key enemy officers. Inside the base, Dr. Markov and her team worked frantically to complete the EMP device. Sparks flew as wires were connected, and the hum of charging energy filled the room. "It's ready," Markov shouted. Reynolds gave the order. "Activate it." The EMP pulse burst forth, a wave of blue light that swept across the battlefield. Arcturian machines faltered and fell, their systems rendered useless. The remaining alien soldiers retreated, their forces in disarray. Cheers erupted within the base. Against all odds, the resistance had won the day. The battlefield was silent, littered with the remains of Arcturian machines and fallen resistance fighters. Shadow Ridge had held, but at a great cost. Commander Reynolds stood among the survivors, his face lined with exhaustion and grief. "We've won this battle," he said, "but the war is far from over." Dr. Markov approached, holding a data tablet. "The EMP was a success, but it's only a temporary solution. We need to find the other obelisks, and fast." The team began preparations for their next mission. Shadow Ridge would remain a symbol of hope, but the resistance knew the Arcturians would return stronger than ever. As the sun rose over the mountains, casting its golden light on the battlefield, humanity stood tall. The fight for Earth was far from over, but the resistance had proven one thing: they would not go quietly into the night.